Hey everyone, my name is Sean Arnold and welcome to a deck build guide for Psy-Frames. This is a deck which I posted earlier in the week and as requested by some people, here is the deck build so that people can use it themselves. Feel free to use it, just be aware that I think some of these cards are DLC locked, so be aware of that in case you are looking for where these cards may or may not be. I'm going to quickly do a quick overview of what cards are in the deck, and then I'm going to kind of explain how it works and what the gimmick behind Psy-Frames are, so that it's a little bit clearer, because I found it a little bit tricky to start with myself. So, in the deck we have lots of Freos, we have a lot of monsters, 22 monsters in total, and we have 3 copies of Psy-Frame Gear Alpha, Beta, Card D, Maxi, 2 copies of Maxi, Delta at 3, Epsilon at 2, Gamma at 3, Driver at 3. For the spells, we have 3 Pot of Dualities, 3 Psy-Frame Circuits, 3 Psychic Field Zones, 1 Raigeki, 1 Telekinetic Power Well, 2 Terraformers to search out your circuit, Drowning Mirror Force, Psy-Frame, and 3 copies of Psy-Frame Overload. Then for the extra deck, you can have a variety of any monsters between level 7 and level 10, but these are just some I chose. The ones that you must have are Zeta and Omega, but you can also go for a variety of other monsters in case you want to have a bit of a toolbox. I have Ancient Fairy Dragon, Black Rose Moonlight, Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, Michael, Crystal Wing Synchro, Scarlight Red, Scrap, Spark, and then for level 9 we have Hyper Psychic Blaster, and then we have Leo, the Keeper of the Sacred Tree. So that's a quick rough overview, but let's explain how the deck works. How this deck works is that you are trying to respond to any kind of play that your opponent makes. It could be something along the lines of them casting a spell, a trap card, or doing a monster effect, and you can react to them and kind of shut down their plays and then disrupt their own turns. Now, all of these monsters cannot be normal summoned or set, and if you want to special summon them, you can only do so through an effect. So, what you're going to often find in this game and when you're playing this deck is that your field will be wide open and you'll be very vulnerable in your own turn. Therefore, we have a couple of cards to make up for that. Card D allows you to normal summon it and then tribute it to draw 2 cards in your turn. Just get more cards into your hand so you can disrupt your opponent with further options in their turn. Maxi is so that if your opponent goes special summon crazy, you get even more cards. The more cards you have in your hand, the better you're going to do in this deck. Drowning Mirror Force allows you to react to attacks in your opponent's turn. In case you don't have the right Psy-Frame gear, Mirror Force can allow you to shuffle their cards back into their deck. And I think that's it for the generic stuff. Raigeki to clear the field, Terraforming to search out circuit, Pot of Duality to dig through your deck because you're not special summoning in your own turn really. So, let's talk about the unique monsters themselves and what they do. Alpha is anti-normal summon or special summon. You summon this to the field, you get to special summon Driver from your hand, deck or graveyard, and then you get to search a Psy-Frame card from your deck. I don't know if you can search out Psy-Frame Gears, but you can definitely search out Circuit and Overload, and those will be your main targets. Beta, however, is for anti-attacks, so if you want a bit of a defense for an attack, Beta is your option there. When opponent's monster attacks, you special summon this, Driver, then you destroy the attacking monster, and yeah, it's good for that. Delta is for anti-spells, so anytime your opponent uses a spell card, you can summon this card and do the same thing, negate the spell, summon Driver, and go on from there. Epsilon is anti-trap, and Gamma is anti-monster effect. Now, when you build this deck, you really need to kind of consider your competition and what you're going to be countering. If your opponent isn't going to counter you certain mechanics, then you might want to reduce how much of that you use. So I only have 2 copies of Epsilon in this deck because higher tier decks don't really use trap cards, but there are a lot of random players in Legacy of the Duelist, so trap cards aren't too rare. So I have them there as 2 just because I respected them a little bit less, but you need to play with the ratios in your own time to kind of get the right mix. Now, one of the main cards for the deck that pulls it all together is Psy-Frame Circuit. Psy-Frame Circuit allows you, it does 2 things. When you special summon a Psy-Frame Gear and Driver, you can do a Synchro Summon immediately, even if it's in your opponent's turn. Now, that's up to you what you choose. You can go for a Black Rose Dragon and nuke the field. You can go for a Synchro Dragon to do some negation if you want. You can set a Michael so that in your turn you can banish some of their cards, but the main targets you're going to go for are Zeta and Omega because they have effects which can activate in your opponent's turn, and they're really disruptive and very effective at doing so. Also, the best thing about Zeta and Omega is that their effects remove them from the field, so you have an empty field and therefore can then again use your cards so you can special summon more and negate more. Circuit's second effect is that when your Psy-Frame monster battles an opponent's monster, you can discard another Psy-Frame card and your card gets attack increased to the one you discarded. So let's say you have Zeta on the field, it has 2500 attack, discard a driver, get another 2500 attack to put it to 5000, and then you have a really big monster. That is an important effect. You do kind of want to boost your damage as often as possible because when you have the opportunity to, you don't get many opportunities to attack your opponent in this kind of deck, so when you do, you really want to make it count. We have 3 of Psychic Field Zone. This card is one of the few cards you can play in your turn to special summon monsters. You remove 2 of your banished Psychic type monsters, 1 tuner and driver, send them to the graveyard, and then you get to special summon a synchro monster from your extra deck in defense position. It must be a Psychic type, so your only options are Zeta and Omega, but there are other Psychic type monsters, but these are the really best ones. And just be aware that it comes out in defense position, which means you're not going to be attacking with that monster on that turn really. It's okay with Omega and Zeta because then you can use their effects to remove them from the field, and when they come back to the field you can put them in attack. But yeah, this is one of the only real ways you're going to be summoning monsters in your own turn, so just be aware of that. Another option is Telekinetic Power Well. This allows you to special summon as many level 2 or lower type Psychic monsters from your graveyard onto your field, and then you can make some plays with that. Let's say you summon 3 monsters, keep a level 2 on your field, then you can tribute summon a Psy-Frame driver and do a 2 and a 6 for a level 8 synchro, maybe even go to a level 9 or a level 10. It's a kind of a unique situation card. It's not one you're going to really rely upon, but it's there just as an option. The final card we have here is Psy-Frame Overload. Psy-Frame Overload is a fantastic card. It has 2 effects. You can banish 1 Psy-Frame card from your hand or your side of the field, which combines nicely with the Connected Power Well, and then you can banish 1 card on the field face down. Ideally, you'll banish your opponent's cards, get rid of your threats, and because you're banishing it face down, they can't really use it, and it's a good way of just shutting down their plays. Similarly, the second effect is during either player's turn except the turn it was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard and add 1 Psy-Frame card from your deck except Overload. I am not sure if this searches out Psy-Frame Gears. It probably does, but it definitely searches out Psy-Frame Circuit and Psy-Frame Driver. So you can get those from your deck, add them to your hand, and keep on doing. Just keep your hand energized and fueled more and more and more. Your opponents will definitely rush to destroy these 2 cards, so be aware of that. But they are very good cards nonetheless and worth running. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these cards and see what they do, but like I said, Omega and Zeta are the most important ones. Zeta has the effect of once per turn during either player's turn, you can target 1 special summon monster in a face-up attack position that your opponent controls, manage both them and this card from the field and return them in the standby phase. This is very good at disrupting the opponents, get rid of their boss monsters or their key cards, and then have your field wide open to use your Psy-Frame Gears. The second effect is, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 other Psy-Frame card in your graveyard, return this card to the extra deck, and if you do, add that target to your hand. This is a great way to refill your extra deck with monsters that you've used already. So let's say you use Black Rose Dragon and you want to use it again, return this to the extra deck along with Psy-Frame Lord Zeta, and then you can use it again. Then we have Psy-Frame Lord Omega. I think most people know what this card does, but it's still worth talking about. During your opponent's main phase or either player's main phase, you can banish this card and 1 card from your opponent's hand face up until the next standby phase. Good disruption tool, really good at shutting down plays and kind of limiting your opponent's options. Then during the standby phase, you can target 1 banished card, return it to the graveyard. So this allows you to reuse Overload and some of your other monsters, so you can keep and reuse Driver, so that you can keep your graveyard full of Psychic cards, and that way you can keep on refilling your hand again and again and again. And that's the build there, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully this is helpful to some. Let me know how you get on with Psy-Frames. I think they're a really fun deck to play. They're very competitive in the current environment, and a lot of people aren't prepared for them. Just be aware that there isn't a lot of variety with this deck kind of build. They can't really... There's not a whole lot else you can really change about it, in my opinion, so you're kind of stuck with what you do. So if an opponent can overpower this build, then they're probably going to do so on a consistent basis. But it's still very fun to play. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you soon. Take care.